It's probably fair to say, I think, that if people reflect on the matter, they tend to think of the Reformation as a good thing, in the sense that it helps to bring about these liberties and freedoms and diversities that we cherish in the West today. That is true in a sense, but it's also, I think, important for us to get across how little that was part of the intention of any of the founding figures of the Reformation. Luther and Calvin would have been horrified by the diversity of thought and freedoms of expression in social and political life that we see in modern Europe. One of our themes collectively as authors in the book is the unintended consequences of the Reformation. What had been a united community of faith, what was called Christendom, is deeply divided by these rival visions of Christian truth, leading of course to conflict, warfare, religious wars in both the 16th and the 17th century, which in the end are inconclusive. This is perhaps one of the main political results of the Reformation, is that neither side, or any of the sides involved, actually manages to win, to impose their vision on the others. So reluctantly, extremely reluctantly, there is a recognition that these rival versions of truth and the people who hold to them must find ways to live together. That doesn't necessarily mean tolerance in the modern sense of thinking that truth is completely relative and everybody's viewpoint is equally valid. Absolutely not. But it does mean, for example, allowing the private practice of non-official forms of faith. So out of the convulsions of the Reformation comes perhaps a kind of privatization of religion. Religion turning into a more domestic sphere. And indeed perhaps really the creation of the concept of religion in something like its modern form, something which is a separate sphere of thought and action, which would have been inconceivable to people in the 15th century or even in the early 16th century, when all aspects of life, what we would regard as political, social, cultural, were invested with a kind of ultimate meaning, were seen as part of God's plan.